think that the divide in this current context, I think basically the dynamics not only between states, but also I think definitely on the contextualized, for example, international actors and local actors, donors, and local organizations. And there's like a big gap between these two communities or like actors. So basically the dynamics is really high, the power imbalances, the dynamics between all these actors creating those trust issues and the lack of inclusion as well. For example, not able to be like represented in any stages, for example, minority communities or women. So they need to be more inclusive in terms of like engaging into this context to ensure that they are included and to build trust as well. So the other part is to actually invest it and contextualize, like to understand the learning of the context of localizations, of like not like getting into the community with the knowledge that we have already in mind, but to actually invest in learning about their context, the challenges, what do they want out of each stage of the development processes. So I think to conclude is that to have all this power imbalance, the lack of inclusions, and also the lack of context is actually contribute to the trust or lack of trust between these actors, I think. I think to me personally, working with marginalized community and minority women and girls, being included in decision making or policy makings is actually really important for us, not only for me, but I think that it's also for other women, other people, other marginalized communities as well, being heard. The voices that being left behind is actually really important and crucial to ensure that policies or a strategy that has been developed is actually fitting in every context. And I think that what I want is to actually learn about different approaches, to actually have more collaborative approach instead of to invest in different aspects of communities but not able to understand their own context and how it actually worked in different contexts as well. So basically it's the double standards, to know that one strategy is not going to work with different contexts. So we need to invest and to learn more and mobilize to bridge the gap. So we always mention about bridging the gap. So where's the bridge here of like this international actors and local actors? So we need to know where we are now and how do we bridge these relations and to build trust in this context in the world where there's a lot of dynamics. So it's important to get to know what is the bridge and where do we build it and how do we build it together. I believe that everyone has a role to play. So everyone should be included and engaged in all this process. For example, international actors, government or states should invest it more on how do we build this collectively to bridge the gap and to close the gaps of like the dynamics of power. And for example, donors should also invest in locally led, because we often mention locally led, and how do we actually engage all these actors into the tables instead of representing them, having their voices heard and actually coming back from them. So actually this is a really crucial aspects of like having these people but to speak for themselves. And also for grassroots communities, it's also really challenging to reach out to them, especially in marginalized communities. So grassroots also invested in to be trustworthy of local international actors who actually engage with them so that we can build those collectively and engage into a better way of like development processes as well.